And now, on with the show.
And we are live. How's that for short? I said I was going to cut it short, and it was like, and now, and we're done.
And that's it. That's all you get.
Good enough.
Well, Off Record Podcast.
I want to get to our guest here. This dude's been a lot of fun. He showed up a little early. I like this guy. I'm going to keep him.
So we have on the show Mr. David Starling. Man, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
There he is.
There we go.
That camera. This camera.
I gotta get lights. I gotta get lights on the camera so everybody knows where we're at.
Oh, there we go. The old-fashioned tally lights light up right there.
Yeah. A big on-air sign.
Oh, I've got a couple hanging out of the studio, but I think we're gonna employ them at the studio. So
nope.
Yeah,
nope.
But that would have
you mentioned it. One's mine now. Claimed it.
Mine.
But yeah, how are you guys doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Stellar. It
Good
was
deal.
A really good day. So
fucking beautiful out.
Bro.
Oh my god, to be stuck in a cave working away, slaving.
Yes, I know all about that very well.
Luckily, I get to ride motorcycles for a living, so it was nice. Beautiful day. We got 2 comments.
We already have 2 comments.
As always.
3.
Oh, we got 3.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Coming in hot.
Look at this. Samantha says, welcome.
Samantha. Tammy
says, hello, David and OTR crew. And Buck says, what's up, guys?
Buck.
What up, Buck? Howdy. He sent me a meme today. You know, all you people that are not Star Wars nerds, you might not get it, but it was Obi-Wan and Anakin sitting there. And Obi-Wan says, fuck, marry, kill. That's the game, I guess.
Yes.
And Anakin just says, Padme. That's it. That's the only name he gave for all 3.
So I guess. Okay, all 3. Yep.
But anyways, yeah. So David Starling, what's going on? Let me put your banner up.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this. Kyle gives his regards.
That's right.
Kyle,
Shout out, Kyle.
is from your captain speaking, and actually I am too. I was supposed to come a while back, but I might have had COVID at the time, so that was the best thing to do was stay home.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Crammed in small spaces with a lot of hot breath running around here. Don't need the Rona ruining everything. Which in your defense, it was a good show. We got to get those guys back in because my cameras were fucked. Like everything failed.
It was still a great show though.
Went on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed like sitting back and listening to it and like watching it and everything. And you guys, so like everybody says great things. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So Dave sent me his music on Sunday.
Yep.
And I sat down with my headphones and listened to it. Like really listened to it. And I've been excited about having this conversation since listening to it. You guys listening, you have to check this guy out. So David, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where you from? How's your mom and them?
Well, so I'm David. I grew up in the area. I was, born at what used to be Tallahassee Community Hospital. Grew up in Tallahassee, and then we moved to Wakulla County when I kind of became a teenager, and that's when I started playing guitar and everything. Originally, like that was back in the like new metal days. So like it all started with like that whole like Korn and Limp Bizkit era. Not that I'm really proud to say that.
What?
But I mean Korn's still good. I mean, like the original albums I'll still listen to.
Yes.
Like, every once in a while.
Are you feeling like a chainsaw?
Not today.
Good. Good.
But just kind of I've been playing guitar for 24 years now, which is a really frightening number.
I know, right? Yeah, I know, right? I hear you.
Yeah, they keep adding, and it's like, I'm kind of okay with that. A little bit, just a little bit though. But so yeah, I've Really couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with that until like country music happened all of a sudden, which was a thing
Oh yeah.
in the sense of like I didn't want it to happen because like growing up, country music around my circle of friends and they're like, so my dad has a very thick accent, like Southern accent. He's from like Phoenix City, Alabama, you know. And so like I would just see how like people kind of like treated him a little bit different, like when they heard his accent and
Absolutely.
everything. And I was like, oh, I don't know, is that like a weird thing where it's like a handicap that people are like kind of doing? And so like
A little bit.
yeah,
Yeah. Totally.
and so like I tried to push that off for so long, and so then it just kind of happened, and then I guess here I am. I don't know, kind of finally comfortable with it.
I empathize with you in that sense. I'm from Bluntstown, Florida,
Word.
and raised in the woods. I deliberately got rid of my Southern accent because I'm in pseudo professional positions, and that doesn't. It's kind of like the immediate stereotype. Oh, you're just some ignorant redneck. No, I'm not.
Right. Right.
And taking absolutely nothing away from people with Southern accents, by the way, taking absolutely nothing away from any of those guys. I just chose not to. And and the people in our areas, they're fucking hardworking people. No doubt about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if anything, we're just singing praises about everybody.
Yes.
Like you do you.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Just wish more people would understand that.
And it's interesting that you're talking about how there was a new metal thing that was going on, and then country happened. So, like, how did you get into because I mean your music. I don't want to pigeonhole you and say, oh, you're country or you're this, you're that. But I suppose for lack of better terms, it is kind of you've got fucking steel guitars and violins on your record. It's country music.
Definitely
sorry.
country.
Yeah. so again, transitioning from how did you transition from Corn and everything to where you are now, or at least to the music that you're making now?
Well, like it started there, and then like you go into like from there it would to Metallica, and then it went to like classic rock like Hendrix and Floyd and stuff like that, and then I figured out Simon and Garfunkel. So like I think that would have been the first step.
Okay.
Right, folk music, and that would have been like when I was like a senior in high school, and I was like all sensitive and stuff, So like that was the start, and then like that was right when like Iron and Wine was starting to happen. When I got out of high school, like they did that cover, "Such Great Heights," was it? The big one that like kind of took off and became.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard of Iron and Wine.
Wait, what? Oh
Nope.
shit. Okay. Well, because Sam Beam used to teach here at the film school.
Okay.
So he's from Tallahassee.
Okay.
So, but like that was like a big thing for a minute. But what happened is he did this collaboration with the band Calexico, which like kind of does that Mexicali like kind of Western music kind of thing. And so like that's when like steel guitar like starts creeping in. I'm like, that's interesting. And then eventually hitting it with Hank Senior.
Oh, okay. When you say Hank, you're talking about Hank 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
Hank Senior. Okay.
Well, I generally skip Junior.
Yeah.
But like Senior and number 3.
Yes.
Mucho bueno.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like that's kind of like the start of it, and then that got me in like George Jones, and then like somehow like a couple of years later I found out about alt country in the 90s.
Yes.
And like that was my jam.
Right.
And then that redirected me back to Graham Parsons, and we got like that whole like generation, and then kind of following it forward, and then of course Emmylou Harris.
Oh my god.
Oh. Right?
Oh man.
Because she'll just sit there and she can sing anything. I don't care if it's the fucking phone book. but like you're just like you're like bated
The man
breath.
speaks the truth, by the way.
Yeah.
Dangle-clacks. I have no idea what just fell.
Oh no.
Okay, we're good. Sorry.
But yeah, that's kind of what like brought me to the country threshold. Not bro country.
Right.
Definitely not bro country.
Absolutely.
Not songs about plastic red cups.
Dave and I were talking off camera that your music is not bro country. You're not talking about your truck and the party and all that stuff is good and fun. Again, please don't misunderstand me. There's a time and a place for it. And like Florida Georgia Line, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I really enjoy their music. It reminds me of the people that I grew up with. That down home kind of blue collar guy that goes on a Friday night to somebody's trailer listening to Nelly and DMX and then switches up and then we're listening to Hank and George or whatever. So those guys really remind me of those people. But the point that I'm making though is that your music is not country. Again, I mentioned off camera. You mentioned alt country, especially the 90s alt country music, and that is exactly what I hear in your music. Again, I was nerding out listening to your music because I'm such a big fan of 90s country. I'm a huge 90s country fan. Actually, there was one guy in particular, and I cannot remember his name or his hits. There was one guy in particular, I wish I could remember his name, that your music really reminds me of. But anyhow, you're really doing something that is completely different from what's being done right now. And man, I'm as you can tell, I'm definitely singing your praises right now. Yeah,
Thank you kindly.
definitely.
Thank you.
Did not notice.
Say what?
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice? Yeah.
No. Not at all. All right. Well, I think I already put this out on the table a little bit, but I know shit about country. I don't know nothing. I'm not a country guy. Like I was saying earlier, Wheeler Walker Jr.
Yeah.
It's about as country as I get. Unknown Henson.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't know. Hey, that rhymes. Somebody write that shit down.
It's funny how you said how you were listening to some of the new metal and then transitioned into country. For me, it was the exact opposite. I grew up listening to country music. Like my first love was country music, and that 100%. My now ex stepdad bought me the fourth Led Zeppelin album, the one with Stairway to Heaven, Black Dog.
Oh yeah.
Amazing record, and that introduced me to heavy metal, hard rock. So it's interesting how we come across things in different ways.
Yeah. It's like cross pollination.
Exactly, it's totally cross pollination.
But that's the beauty of music too. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you're on a constant road of discovery and like hearing new things and what excites you, and like that's the fucking cool part about it.
Yep.
Like it blew my mind when you said like you like actively sat down on Sunday to listen to the album.
Yes,
because like hardly anybody does that.
Nope.
It's like just turn it on as background and I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna go do that and like wow.
Nope. I told you this. I literally sat down with pen and paper, making notes, just listening to your music. I mean, and honestly, that also speaks to how good your music is as well. In my opinion, it held my attention. How many times we listen to something and then, like you said, it becomes background music, or you get busy or whatever. No, man, I sat there and listened to the whole damn thing from start to finish. I think it's about an hour or so.
About 42 minutes.
Yeah,
which was perfect. We were kind of aiming for like the length of vinyl. Like that's the end goal is like, okay, I want to get it cut on vinyl at some point. So like about 22 minutes each side. So it worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So this was recorded by Kyle Elligood.
Yes.
At Gaslight.
Oh, Gasoline Alley.
Gasoline. Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay.
Cool joint, by the way.
Yes. It's beautifully recorded. The mix is fucking spot on. There were not any times where I felt like, oh, this is too loud or the vocals are too quiet. There was none of that. and the musicality is beautiful. I enjoyed how there were highs and lows and there were plateaus. Like one of my favorite moments during the recording, there is a song called Big Mouth Blues. It's kind of a rock jam, right? And then the very next song is Haunt.
Right.
Bro.
Just drops right on down. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a very personal, like, an intense song.
Yeah.
And, like, I know it like, we just got the, like, but actually both of those masters back last week, I want to say.
Okay.
And it was going to be even more intense. Like the first master I got back, like, it was just like right up into crashing into like -1 and everything. And I was just like, maybe dial it back a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's like, it's very intense. But like, yeah, the whole idea was like, I had to try to figure this out like early on, like how it was going to flow.
That had to have been very difficult because it's kind of all over the place a little bit. It's almost random, almost, just the highs and the lows and the plateaus and the ups and downs. I'm sure the processing, all right, this is number one, that had to have been incredibly difficult for you.
I think as soon as we started recording the album, I began trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
As far as like, we picked the songs, and as soon as I got the rough tracking examples together, I was already like in the process of like putting them in different playlists, trying it. And so like, this is what I landed on. And I was going to wait until we got done with it. And then I tried it again and I was like, okay, I think this will work. We're going to have to do a different sequence for the vinyl though. So I think we found one that works in that context as well. But I kind of wanted to treat it like it was like a show,
Absolutely.
Where you've got like, high energy.
Yes.
It starts waning a little bit. You get a little bit slower.
I can see that.
And so like, and then also like, where Wildfire comes in, which is about halfway through the album.
Yep.
That was also in mind. Like, that was my wish list as far as like, well, I know you have to like put the quieter tracks on the like inner part of vinyl.
Yeah, you gotta have to stick it in there somewhere in the middle there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like right toward the end of the first side, you have to have a quiet song, and same thing on the back side. So like we tried to like do that, just because like otherwise like the needles will skip. In theory, if like it's too intense.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
And that's the reason why you'll notice like a lot of albums like that, like back when the priority was like vinyl, it's like you have like kind of that high energy, like mid, maybe another high, and then like low energy right there before you have to flip.
Damn.
And that's where that whole format comes from.
Right.
So like, that's the shit I geek out about. I don't know. It's weird.
That's beautiful. That's cool. That's really cool. So just speaking to the music, man, there are just so many. There's some really cool guitar solos. There are some really cool violin solos. There's some steel guitar in there. Can you talk to me about the music? Who played what, where, when?
Yeah, you had a ton of people on this, right?
I did.
I read. I was like, all right, know that one. About to meet this one.
Yeah.
No idea who the other 12 are.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people from the music scene. The core of it was myself and then Kyle. Kyle's been like a huge part of this from like the start. Like we did some recording beforehand with a song that I had called Cowards. And then we decided we wanted to do like the full album. So like he played drums on this. And so we started by tracking drums. We had my friend Connor Bond come in to play bass on the day of tracking, and I did scratch guitar and vocals that day. So like that's how it started. And then we had like Tristan Shiver, who was the guitarist from Your Captain Speaking before I came in. He played on it. Then we had Hunter, also from Your Captain Speaking, and many other bands. He came in. He played bass on Big Mouth.
Okay.
And then, like, the other thing is, like, we had this guy from Norway. His name is Pierre Torre. I found him on Reddit because it is really hard to find a pedal steel player here.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So he cut the parts, and he sent the dry signal out of the guitar for those parts. Like he did it with an amp sim
Okay.
on his computer, and then what we did is we just like literally reamped it in the studio so that it had the same like tone characteristic. It was like he was playing it in the studio.
Wait, so Pierre, excuse me, he did not record his steel guitar parts in studio.
No, he was firmly planted his feet in Norway.
See, I was curious about that whenever you said he was from Norway. I was like, all right, so tell me you did not get some random guy from Norway. Hey, man, I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. Will you come play steel guitar for me?
Okay, so that didn't happen. But I did check out the flights for the release show.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not bad. It was like $300. I was like,
okay,
dude, do you want to come play on the rehearsal, or, like the release show?
Right.
And unfortunately, he's in school right now, so that didn't come to pass. But that's okay. I told him at some point, as a thank you, you need to just come. It'll be fun.
So are you going to have somebody play his parts during your live?
Yeah, well, somebody will be playing pedal steel. The problem is like he's a ridiculously like solid player.
Yes.
And so like finding somebody to like replicate that 100%.
Good luck.
Yeah. Because it's such a fluid instrument.
Yes.
Like there are 10 strings.
Right.
You got 4 knee levers, you got 3 like pedals, and like no tabs, no nothing, and you're trying to figure it all out. And like I have met somebody who is he actually came in and we were rehearsing, so like we're gonna have pedal steel parts. They're not gonna be exact, but like yeah. So like that's a very hard thing to replicate on that instrument.
Yep.
Come to find out.
And it's really good. I mean, his steel guitar parts are really good.
Oh yeah. But then we had Holly Riley, who also like has played with tons of bands around town before she moved to Montana.
Okay.
She came in. She did the violin part, like everything violin involved.
Yep.
Like she cut within an hour to an hour and a half.
Damn. Wait, like, for everything.
For the entire album. She's a beast. She's wild at that shit.
That's crazy.
Like, and like very intuitive, like listened to it and was just like, okay, I know what I can add here.
How much prep time did she have going into it?
She only had one song that like because Kyle had worked with her before and was just like, oh, hey, I want to give you a heads up about this one because you might want to ruminate on this one a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that was Big Mouth. Of all things, which I mean, it's a pretty straightforward, like 1-4-5 kind of style song, but like she just came in and like there were numerous times where I was just like, oh my god, that was awesome,
right?
As she's tracking it, and I'm like, fuck, this is really cool.
To have somebody come in, Johnny on the spot, play any instrument, regardless of what instrument you want to talk about, they have somebody come in and record everything. Top to bottom, within an hour and a half. No, she had no prep time. You sent her music beforehand.
She's just that much of a genius.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So like, kudos, thank you. If
you
ever see this, thank you very much. Jesus, please. So like, I think that was basically the core of it, and then we had a couple of like other people involved. Record smaller parts, for like one song, like James Borbeau, who used to work at Music Masters. He used to run sound for a couple of different venues. Him and his, I think they're married now, but like him and his girlfriend or wife, not 100% sure, I can't remember. They cut some parts for Homecoming at the very end of the album. She cut the French horn part.
Nice.
And he cut a trumpet part and a clarinet part, which I wasn't expecting. He was just like, oh, hey, I also sent this over. So we ended up using the clarinet part, which you don't expect, but it worked beautifully.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, this is cool. Like, I don't know. And that oddly enough, like that whole idea came to me when I was like, I should find a French horn, is because of like Sigur Rós. and like their Kavika album or whatever it's called. I don't know. They're Icelandic. It's hard to know exactly how to say it,
Right.
but they had a French horn part at the end of a song, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
According to the comments, it says Norwegian country is on the rise.
He's in a band called Gone North. Yeah, and like they're busy.
That was something else I thought about, having a guy in Norway that one plays steel guitar very well.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's got to be into country music, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, the reason I chose to like reach out to him was because like he was doing like Alan Jackson like pedal steel covers on YouTube, and he would post them to the pedal steel like subreddit. So there was that.
Wait. I'm sorry. Did you say that there's a pedal steel subreddit?
Oh my God, yes.
I'm subbing to that. Like as soon as we get done with this conversation,
it's really cool. I really enjoy it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. But like he also did like a cover of like Buck Owens' "Together Again."
Okay.
And like the Birds, 100 Years from This Day, that song. So like everything that's in my wheelhouse, he was like kind of doing. I was like,
damn,
perfect, cool. Let's get this guy, and it worked out.
That is amazing. That is truly amazing. Let's. I think we have some comments.
Yeah, we got a few
we're a little behind on the comments there.
A little bit. Right. So,
running my mouth here.
I know exactly who this Facebook user is. Where's Mr. Starling on a cheese balls pandemic, Mason? So, as you know, it's very sad, but a lot of guitar players are getting addicted to cheese balls. And if you see any of the Thunder the Snake, they put out a very sad video about their guitar player being addicted to cheese balls. It's rough. We're getting bracelets.
Poor guy.
Oh, God
Poor
bless.
guy. Poor guy.
We'll be thinking of you.
Tammy says music notes. Mason says again, it's corn, it's got the juice. Having friends in low places is a prerequisite for country music. Yes, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to the podcast. It says don't sleep on
what?
Don't sleep on Ivy and a strange man, aka Hank Ivy.
There's a Hank Fourth?
Hank Four? Really?
I had no idea.
We're gonna Google this.
I know,
right?
right? Let's
wait. Hank Four. Hank.
Buck, don't work too hard, man.
Yeah, Buck. Love you, buddy.
No.
Thanks for the beautiful beer.
There is. Do what now? What is this? And it's Hank the Third's son.
Right. So I
Thank you for letting us know.
I guess it stands to reason that Hank the Third has a son. He's got to be in his 50s.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, the math is there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'll be damned. I had no idea there was a Hank 4.
Neither did I. But all right, now I know what I'm listening to tonight.
I know, right? So we have a question from Samantha here.
Oh yes, Samantha's
Samantha hits us up with these questions here.
Says, when you are rich and famous enough to own your own private jet, what will you name her?
Wait, why does it have to be a her? Never mind.
Well, because all vessels are supposed to be cheese. Right?
I suppose.
It's good luck.
So
right?
All right. I don't know. I'm used to the whole, the captain and his wife, the vessel kind of thing, because I grew up on Star Trek anyway.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna call that is parked on cinder blocks. That's what I'm gonna call it, because I can't afford that shit.
So jet tires got to be expensive. Got to be expensive. I ain't paying for that shit. Should we? So, all right, Rob, you've been bragging about his music so much. I'm thinking that we ought to play a little bit.
Yeah,
What do
let's
you think?
play a little.
We have a 1 minute and 30-second snippet of one of his songs, and then when we come back, David's going to tell us all about it. Ready for some of this action?
Do it.
In 3, 2.
Florence felt so out of place. A local no one fell from grace. Only soul this town can embrace. Did I ever really try? So I packed my suitcase and I flew away, someplace far from the red Georgia clay. I couldn't take it another day then, just had to close my eyes. I woke up in Xanadu. I saw the Beatles and Gandhi too. Lights are blinding, I can hardly see all the faces lining on the glowing streets. Every woman that passes me, it's a lover from another life.
Oh, there we go. Nice. And we are back. Let me see. What one do we want? Do we want this one? Since we're all staring at the TV. I finally put a TV camera up so we don't look like idiots just mouths open, staring at the ceiling.
I've never noticed that over there.
Yeah, I just did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last week, but it fell over, so it was all crooked and shit. But anyways,
Actually, Dad has a comment that we need to highlight that.
Yeah.
So that's my dad. Dad said, we had a legend pass away yesterday. Loretta Lynn was a huge influence on all types of music. Here.
Absolutely.
And Dad also said, great sound, David.
Thank you.
And he would...
Tammy loved it.
The emoji. I would absolutely pay money to hear more of that.
We were just talking about that. You want to do a couple show announcements, and we'll also announce them at the end too?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, so there is a gig coming up on the 21st of this month. Backbone Booking put it together. I'll be playing kind of like a more intimate kind of place, solo. It's going to be more like acoustic. It is at a place called The Studio, which is very nondescript. It's off of Capitol Circle, kind of over there by Tom Brown Park. So, like, the best thing I could recommend is if you want to see that show, find me on Facebook, look up David Starling, and there's a music page. And then you can find the event there. And then, of course, just make sure you like the page while you're there. But the big one, if intimate and small and acoustic isn't your deal, we're going to have like the full band, which is the album release show. And that's going to be at 926 Bar. That's on West Tharp.
Yep.
And that's going to be November 12th. And that's going to be a freaking awesome time. I'm looking forward to it already. There's going to be all sorts of good stuff that's like involved with that show, including Once Great Estate, which is another great like alt country band from the area.
Yep.
They're going to be playing, and I'm looking forward to that. Brett Eugene, who is Brett Richter, he'll be playing on that. And that reminds me, I got to take care of the artwork again. But it's going to be a really fantastic show. I'm super excited about that one.
The show on the 21st, I'm actually a really big fan of intimate acoustic shows. I think I might have something going on that night, bro. If I don't, I'm there. I'm totally there. But yeah. So we talked about your music. What's one of your favorite songs on the album? What's one that was the most fun to record for whatever reason? Can you tell us about that?
Well, sure. like if you ask me what the most fun was
Yep.
on like any particular song, I think it definitely would have been Big Mouth. Because
Yeah.
it was just completely ridiculous.
Okay.
So a little bit of background. It's actually a Graham Parsons tune.
Is it really?
Yes. It's
Wait,
off.
that's a cover?
It's a cover. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So which secretly like Hush Hush style we're gonna release on November 5th.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like hardcore promote it really, but like that's his birthday, or what would have been his birthday, like 76th birthday. But that was a lot of fun because what we ended up doing was the pedal steel. We just like drove really hard with some overdrive and just got it, a little wonky. My friend JT, who used to be in a band with me here, but moved to Denver, and then now he's in Cincinnati. But like, he flew down and did some background vocal work with us, and so like we actually had gang vocals on that song and on Hurricane. That was, I think, the most fun we had session wise, was just because we were cracking up in between like the parts. Like we just ran through the whole song, and then we'd like sit there and joke throughout the song and all that stuff. And then when it came to our, section we were about to do, like we, all right, let's get ready.
Yeah, straighten up.
Yeah. So like, I would say Big Mouth though is definitely like the most exciting and the most fun. As far as like the most creatively like energizing,
Yeah.
I would definitely say that's the Lady Mondegreen song,
Okay.
because there were a lot of parts that came together
Yes.
in order to make that really work. And that didn't have, whereas a lot of the music I have on the album, like I'd had the benefit of like in a previous band having played a ton of times all over and then getting like all that set. This was more of the song that was created in the studio. Like, and I'm not a big advocate for that, just because I know it takes a lot of time, and then you're just like sitting there backtracking saying, well, that idea didn't work, but we just blew 3 hours, that kind of thing. And that's still money and all that. But that came together beautifully. Like that I'm the most proud of, like, because it really took everything that I was trying to accomplish with it, came together, and then turned into something completely different that was awesome. So like, that would be the best two answers I can give you for that.
Big Mouth definitely has this really, not trying to make a pun here, but a really big feel to it. It is this really large and somewhat loud, ruckus rock song. So I could definitely see how that would be a lot of fun to, especially if it's a cover. There's only so, unless you really want to kill it and make it your own, there's only so much you can do with a cover. It's already written. It's this, it's that, and you kind of put your own little spin on it, and it is what it is after that. But
yeah. And honestly, I'm really happy with how that turned out, which actually was going to be a more direct cover up until the morning of that session.
that always happens.
Which was, well, and it was a wonderful thing. And like Kyle was just like, as we were setting up the studio and getting ready, Kyle was just like, hey, I had a thought about Big Mouth. And I'm like, shoot, and he's like, so what I was thinking is, what if it was almost as if the band, like, The Wait or Up on Cripple Creek, the band, had done a cover of this, or like they had like written and recorded it. What would that sound like? And I was like, oh, okay. And then we just like kind of like amplified the falling apart kind of thing. We had Tristan came in, like, and he played like the slide guitar part and the last verse, and then like he's one of the two guitar players on the back end, where it's like complete chaos. And it came together really like awesome. Again, you had like Pierre Torre do the first solo, which was like a lot of fun, just like humming it through and just like really overdriving it. And then you had Holly, who like that's the one song she did have in advance and like just ripped through a solo that's just like nuts. So it all came together really like fast, well, and then we had my friend JT come in, and just a lot of fun.
The lyrics are something else that I wanted to talk about. There was one song in particular, and I've lost my notes, and so I'm totally going off memory right now. Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thanks a lot, asshole. Gas
Gauge. Yes.
There is a wonderful little lyric in there that I heard it, and I was, I was like, "What? Wait a minute! What did he just say?" And I, had to rewind and make sure that I heard it right. Of course, I'm paraphrasing right now. There are places that I go where they tell stories. There are places I go to on Gaines Street where they tell stories, and the stories are free.
And JT, who came down and into part in this, so like when we were together, like in a band, and a little bit before that, we did a lot of songwriting together. And Gas Gauge was one that was like kind of hanging out there. I had started writing it, like the first verse and like the chorus were there. And so we like sat down and we workshopped it one day. And what ended up happening was we kind of talked about like, what do we want this song to be about? And it was about the Tallahassee music scene,
Yes.
Gaines Street.
Yes.
And so like that's a direct, like, that's a tip of the hat to the other local musicians who we like were really admiring, and just being able to like sit there and they'll tell you all their stories. Like good example, we used to talk to like Pat Puckett would tell us about touring with Alexander Escovedo and like, things like that. Or it would be like Doc, who used to run open mic at the Warehouse. He runs it at Blue Tavern now. But like just all these different people you meet, and you just like kind of talk about things, and like all of that's like important to songwriting, is like hearing stories. And especially in this genre where you try to keep it, it's not like 90s alternative rock where it could be about like anything.
Right.
It doesn't have to make sense per se. So like all that was really important to us to like highlight and tip our hat to. And so like I'm glad you caught that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that and there are really interesting lyrics throughout the entire recording, and I'm not going to sit here and go into all of them, but I was really impressed by your songwriting. Of course, this whole time I've talked about the music and the production, etc., but the lyrical content is also really, really good. I enjoyed Hurricane.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I especially enjoyed Hurricane. Julie.
Yeah. Julie's about to come out too.
And the one Haunt.
Okay, yeah.
That one, I'm not going to ask you for any details. That one seemed like a really super personal for you, but the lyrical content on that one, I was like, damn.
Well, I appreciate that greatly. That one's like that's the deep breath song. Like
Yep.
You have to take the deep breath to like, okay, so this song is about. But like I'll tell you guys, it's actually, I wrote it about my mom passing away.
Damn.
Back in like 2013, and like for the longest time I didn't really like deal with that in a grieving way. Like I tried to set that off. In fact, like I have a history of alcohol abuse. In fact, I became a straight up alcoholic, and luckily that ended like 3 years ago.
Outstanding.
And like everything's good. And like that song came about in one of the songwriting sessions with JT, where it was just like, I have this idea, here's the piano part, and then he just sat back and just kind of watched everything fall into place. As far as like me like sitting there and writing it, I didn't realize that like this was just sitting in the back of my mind, and it just like poured out within like 10 minutes, and a couple of adjustments like words.
Sure, absolutely.
But like that one, like that one is not going to be on the set list to the release show, for instance.
Yep.
Because it's just a bummer, and
Yep.
like Yeah, I try not to play that out.
It belongs on an album. It absolutely belongs on an album, on a
Yeah.
recording. I mean, unless it's one of those things where it's like it's too fucking personal for you to put out, and it's like you wrote it and it's a song for you and that's it. But if that's not the case, it belongs on. Okay, I'm sitting here like I'm telling you what to fucking do. In my opinion,
All right, here's what you're gonna do, David.
You're gonna write the most personal shit ever
yeah.
and release it.
Sorry, I don't mean to get on a soapbox, but in my opinion, again, if it's not too personal, it absolutely belongs on a record. Is it a live song? No.
No, suck the mood out of a room.
Yep.
I mean, well, yeah, especially if I were to intro it, you know, I'm trying very cautiously not to intro things negatively as well
Right.
on stage, but like that one is like, what do you say?
Yeah. Nah.
It's like, listen, I'm really sorry to like derail your whole night.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, that one's not going to be played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I performed it one time at an open mic at Blue Tavern, and like I got a lot of wonderful responses, and people still will, like, who were there, they'll always talk to me about that song, which is sweet. It's very sweet and very kind, you know, but like I also made those people cry.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want you walking away crying. I'm really sorry.
I feel
I'm very
terrible.
sorry.
I'm so glad I went to that show.
Right. Yeah. So, but personal songs are what it's really all about anyway.
Yes.
And that's kind of how this project came to be, is like, okay, I was getting sober and I needed something to do and it needed to be productive. And really what this has been for me is like the release of this is like my release emotionally from
Absolutely.
certain things. And these songs are like firmly rooted in my history, my past, my emotions, except for Big Mouth, which was, you know,
Yeah.
obviously written by somebody else.
Right.
But like this is me letting go. And now I can clear my mind and like my emotions for like other things to come along, which is wonderful, you know.
I'm reminded of the Eric Clapton song Layla. No, fuck, excuse me, not Layla. That's a complete other conversation. Tears in Heaven.
Yeah.
So absolute tearjerker of a song, and fucking everybody loves it because it is a really cool song. It's about the death of his son.
The one that fell out the window.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he stopped playing the song because he stopped playing because he stopped feeling the emotion behind it. You know, the feelings that he put into writing that song, he wasn't feeling them anymore. So from what I understand, he completely stopped playing that song. And that's kind of what that reminds me of a little bit.
Yeah.
Playing something like that live and giving that kind of response from that kind of song.
Well, I can see that like on a number of levels, right?
Mm.
Where I mean, we used to be in a bar band way back in the day. So like I was a part of a band called Slolo Crow for a long time.
That's awesome.
But like we used to play bars and restaurants like every weekend, and like when you stop feeling a song emotionally,
Yep.
they're like you're just like checked out.
Yep.
Now on the opposite side of that, like a song that's supposed to make you feel excited,
Yes.
be out there and play, like, and that goes away, you're like, I'm done with that song.
Yep.
And I really don't want to do it again. On the other side of that, I can see that where it's like, this is where it came from below.
Yes.
And now like I'm just continuing to sing the song for other people's benefit.
Yep.
And like it has lost in sincerity,
Exactly.
you know.
Yes.
Like that I would be cautious about myself. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, it's pretty wild.
So you've obviously played, you know, a couple shows, you know, two or three, right?
Yeah.
Any memorable moments on stage you want to talk about?
Ooh, okay.
Let's talk about some shit.
Okay, actually, I do have one. Okay, so all right, alt country, you know, that Americana kind of stuff. Like, we were lucky enough September of 2018 to play with Steve Earle's son, Justin Towns Earle,
Okay.
who passed away a couple of years ago, like 2020. He passed away. I was really excited because his album Harlem River Blues, like, was one of the things that also really got me into like what I do now.
Right.
And so I was like, holy shit, are you telling me we're going to play with this guy? And my friend JC's on the phone. He's like, yeah, buddy, it's happening. So I was like geared up, super excited. And the night before, and this is when I was still drinking and everything, but like I had just moved into a new place and I was like trying to go around to the backyard to find something real quick, and it was dark, and like I didn't realize there's like this massive drop. So I end up like twisting my ankle the night before the show, and I'm like in a lot of pain. I'm freaking out. I get my whole leg is like wrapped up with an ace bandage, like, you know, like trying to keep it together, but I'm not gonna like get off of the show.
Right.
So here I am hobbling along with like my big ass Fender amp, my guitar, and like waiting outside, and like there's the tour bus at 5th and Thomas, like parked. He's here, and like we're waiting. We're not allowed to come in because you know, turns out actually dude was a little bit of a diva. God bless. But like we're just like sitting there, we're waiting, and you know, like 5th and Thomas over here, and like that's the main concert area, and then you're looking and there's like the smaller bar area, and then outside is like the steps down, and that's where the tour bus was parked. Well, he flew through there in like a heartbeat. He like put a cigarette to his lips and he was ready to light up, and he just like shot me the dirtiest look in the world, not even knowing who I was.
Right.
And like I just felt my blood went ice cold. And I was just like, well, shit, I'm not going to try talking to him now.
I know, right?
But then, like, we sound checked, and, like, his band was really nice and all that stuff. And then, like, we opened. So, like, by that point, I was just like, dude's got an attitude problem. That's not my problem. I'm going to have a great old fucking time.
Right.
And so, like, my lumbering ass with, like, my leg all like this, you know, like, kicking on like effects pedals and trying not to fuck up my timing because I'm like having to put extra. Like, it was awful, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great night, and that night somebody said, "Oh man, you guys sounded way better than him." And I was like, "Okay, that's good. I'll take that." So that's probably the most memorable on stage.
Okay,
was just the excitement for like being part of a show for the first time that like was just like mind blowing to me.
Right.
As far as like, holy shit, I get to open for them. Great. That's fantastic.
And talking about taking the wind out of your sails.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like having to like jerry rig my leg to make it work and everything. It was a good time. It was a good night.
You know, he was hiding in the audience with a hoodie like, that fucking cripple. That cripple kid is wailing. Look at him go with his little.
Did you get a chance to meet him after the show?
No.
Nope.
No. It and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay because I honestly, after that, I was just like, I think I know everything I need to know about him. So it was okay. Now I did have the opportunity to meet Patterson Hood from Drive By Truckers.
Okay.
We also opened for him later that year, but like he had a line of like fans, you know, ready to get like signed. Now that was a fun show. So it was just him and an acoustic guitar. And so we had to be acoustic. So it was just like three of us from the band. And that went well. Everything was fine. But like, god damn that crowd, because it was Drive By Truckers related, you know, like I guess like, and I've come to find out that Tallahassee loves some Drive By Truckers and it's great. But like they were fucking hammered. Like some dude fell over on a table and like whoosh, like beers went flying. Like it was pretty wild. That was a lot of fun too.
It was not me. Maybe me. Probably not me though.
It's totally Jeremy.
It was good people.
Yeah. We do love some drive-bys in Tallahassee. And truckers. Both of them. See what Robert's saying. Oh, we got to switch to the TV cam. Just read some comments. Here we go. Rob, you get to meet all. You get to read all
Okay.
Dad's comments.
He says the most important thing about music to me is I need to be able to relate, good or bad. I have to be able to relate to it. Isn't that the damn truth?
Right?
For me, it doesn't matter if it's fast or slow. Whether it makes me happy or not isn't what's important. What's important is I have to be able to relate to it. Here.
That's right.
Amen. Yeah.
Apparently, he needs to relate to it.
So you brought a guitar.
I did. I brought a guitar.
You care to play us a song or two
Sure.
of your choosing?
Where's the
Yep.
guitar cam? That's not it.
So this is something that we have never done.
Yes, because we are actually. Oh man, I hope this doesn't suck. In fact, those of you in the chat, you guys are going to sound check for us because we're actually going to run XLR out on his amp, and David and I dicked with the board for a while, and we're like, we don't know how it goes, and yeah, he's got plenty of time to play as many songs as he wants, so we can.
Yes, so you can play the whole album if you really want to.
Catherine actually did the background vocals on all the songs.
Oh, no kidding!
Secretly, she's going to be at the release party.
Secretly,
Hell yeah.
We haven't
Don't-
announced it.
Okay, so we can't tell anybody.
Hi, Catherine.
All right, so let us know how it goes, and we will adjust accordingly.
Oh, I've got an XLR out.
Oh, it's already okay.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear this?
So-
Secret.
Get some feedback on the sound check in your mic too, if you will, please.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Hello. I think there's a mad
Oh, that just might be the amount of reverb.
Nope.
I'm wondering if it's from.
Nope, guitars are loud as hell. But
It's loud.
so let's try killing the XLR and just go amp.
Okay. How about this? All unplugged. Oh my god.
We might have to put a mic down on the ground. There you go.
I'm thinking what I
We
need
got
to.
the cable there.
I'm thinking what I need to do is like kidnap David for a day and be like, dude, make it sound good. There's a lot of goddamn buttons over there. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with all that. All right, let's try this one.
Better?
I think so.
Cool. All right, let's give it a run.
Yeah, go for it. Let's see what's going on.
Well, we'll just do one. See how it goes. This is called Julie. You had mentioned it,
Yes.
so let's go for it.
The sentiment is strong when I think of times we'd stay up at 3 and drink all the wine. Julie. Looking through the photos that I kept of you, it's a flood of emotion I've been swimming through. Julie, what am I gonna do? Oh, you moved up to North Carolina, and I just about lost my mind. And nights lay lonely, but you don't, Julie.
Dinners with your family and trips to the shore. A second chance, I'd have done much more, oh, Julie. We would dance in my living room, and I didn't know that you would leave so soon, oh, Julie. What am I gonna do? Sitting in my car on that winter night, I saw your breath as you said goodbye, oh, Julie. And when I try real hard, I can feel that kiss, and how it sends me to a life so amiss, so Julie, what am I gonna do? Well, you turned around and got out the car, so I sat there for an hour in the dark. It's better to have loved, they say. What the hell were they that day? No more. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Oh, you moved up to North Carolina. Just about lost my mind. Not stay lonely, but you don't. Jolie, what am I gonna do?
Is Julie a real person?
Yes, actually. So what's today's date? Today is the 5th. So 3 days ago was actually her birthday.
Outstanding.
She and I dated a couple times while she lived here, and like
Before she moved to North Carolina?
so. Okay, artistic licensing happens. every once in a
Absolutely.
while.
Yes, it does.
But you know, everything's good with her. She lives in DC actually.
Okay.
So she moved up there.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. doesn't really flow into the song.
Right.
But North Carolina does.
Yes, absolutely, and it fits the southern tone a little bit better.
Yes.
But yeah. So it was me, you know, just kind of like literally, I found some photographs, you know, and I was looking at those, and I was like, that was a good relationship. Damn.
Yep.
You know, so it was good.
Good deal.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think out there in chat? I know Robert said great job. Oh, hold on, I got my thing all the way over there. Here
You
we
know
go.
what? Damn.
Great job, David. And he'll tell it straight too. He'll be like, "Oh man, you guys are way too loud or way too soft." How was it out there, Rob? Let us know.
He said it reminds him of James Taylor.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's not the first time I've heard that, which is interesting to me because I don't hear it. But but thank you very much.
He also said, "Damn, play already." Look, man, we're trying to give you the best quality
Best oral
we can
experience.
do.
Absolutely.
Shooting from the hip here, buddy. Oh, you know what we didn't do and we completely forgot was go over the song that we played. What?
yeah.
What was that called?
That's a song called Xanadu. And so there was a trip I took back in 2015, and I went to Seattle for the first time. And it's beautiful up in the Pacific Northwest. And you got like Mount Rainier, constantly in your eye line, and you're just like, oh, that's awesome.
Is that the mountain that you always see like way out in the distance anytime you see Seattle?
Oh yeah.
You usually snow capped.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, beautiful. We actually went to that park and all that good stuff, and it was gorgeous. But so when I came back, that was when everything started happening with like songwriting. I like my first song started like kind of coming about right afterward because I just felt charged. And so a lot of it had to deal with like there's a song called West Coast Jesus.
Yes.
Which is about two dudes sitting outside of a gas station right by the hotel that we were at. And like the conversation I had with them, like, because I didn't have anything going on, like my friend was still hungover in bed. And I was just talking with him for like 45 minutes. But anyway, it's another song kind of dealing about, like thinking about my mother, because I mentioned Genghis Khan and Mother too, and like different people you would see in heaven. And that's where the whole thing is.
Damn.
It's a song about like wishing you could go to heaven and see the people that you miss and everything. Whereas in my last band, it was always a ballad. I wasn't 100% crazy about that. And so we decided to make it more upbeat, because that's what I always imagined the song being. It's kind of an upbeat
because
song.
you're happy to see the people. I don't know. In my opinion, you'd be happy about that. So it should be a little bit more upbeat.
And like the personal feelings attached to like that trip, it was just all energy, all excitement. So like it fits a lot better.
I saw that title, West Coast Jesus, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Listening to it, I didn't understand it at all. Be completely honest with you. Now it makes sense. Actually, would you mind playing it for us?
Oh, that? Yeah, we do. Actually, hey, that's perfect. It's also a second fret capo song, so perfect. All right.
I might think kick back a little bit from the microphone.
A little bit off.
The first time we've ever told anybody that.
Well,
yeah, you're handling it like a pro, and we're ruining it.
So this one, like when I started writing, I didn't think I could like hit higher notes and stuff. So like this one might be.
If you gotta go to a lower register, that's fine. We'll understand. Yeah.
It won't get too loud. But I'll maybe like here.
Okay.
I'll try that. So this is West Coast Jesus.
West Coast Jesus, he keeps on walking, never speaks, he just smiles and waves, and he's gone for days. He's looking for another place where he can stay. Pious Peter, he walks beside him with some canteens and metal mess kits, he'll never stray. He's looking for a promised land just beyond the fray. So go easy, please. They're not out here to harm you. They're just seeking peace from a world that they once knew. They're just me and you, looking for a promised land just beyond the fray. Just where they're going, well, I wish I could say. Last time I saw them, they were headed towards Spokane with their thumbs stuck out, and the sun was falling down. They hopped into a Mustang and they headed out of town. So go easy. They're not out here to harm you. They're just seeking peace. Rather be walking along beside them, but I cannot leave the world that I now know. No, I cannot go looking for a promised land just beyond the fray. No, I cannot go looking for a promised land just beyond the fray.
Beautiful. Damn right.
Yes.
So that's a song about me wishing I could run off with a couple of hippies. So
You're got some chops there on that guitar.
oh, thank you.
You're I really don't know how to describe it. I hate saying, oh, things are, that's great and that's good. I can't think of anything else to say, but it's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Diamond Rio
Diamond
a
Rio.
little bit. I can't think of their guitarist right now, but there were some slides and some hammer-ons and pull-offs I heard that kind of remind me of Diamond Rio a little bit.
All right.
It's really good stuff though, man. It really is.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll trade you one. Okay. So like where that comes from
Yep.
is like listening to Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings.
Okay.
Like Dave Rawlings always plays on Gillian Welch's stuff.
Okay.
Because they're music partners, and I think they are partners. But like he's a fucking beast. Like they're acoustic, only, but like that dude can fucking rip. And it was this whole thing where I was like trying to kind of learn how to play that, but also like I'm only one guitarist,
Right.
So I'm trying to stick with like playing rhythm, but let's try to get some of that fancy stuff in
Yes.
there. And so that was really good. But like he's one hell of a player.
You've got a style that I would never be able to even. I think the word is emulate myself. I'm more of a rock guy as far as guitar playing is concerned. Like I love country music, and I've made that clear. But playing country music it's not in me. I've tried.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like I have tried to learn chicken picking. Like,
I thought you were chicken picking there a little bit. You weren't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think I was, but like to me, like here, let me like a good example. Like as an exercise.
Yep.
That I've been working on for like 2 years. It's like this whole like
right,
like that kind of stuff, and like that's the closest I've gotten to actually sounding like an actual electric player in
Right.
like recent modern country music.
Gotcha.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not trying to be those guys. I'm trying to learn it so I can
Right.
steal things from it. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's that whole. It's a different vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
Like I kind of want to learn enough to be able to like get into trouble. And I think I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. But I'm also working on like some new stuff for like the follow up material and
Right.
everything. That's going to be a lot more. Well, without saying too much, it's going to be a little bit more like riff oriented,
Okay.
like loud, because that's my goal, is to have something called the Loud Ass Country Band, where like it's loud, so so let's remember that and know we're not going to play like classic rock tunes, and then the word ass is in there, so we're not going to get booked for family friendly events.
Right.
No birthday parties at
Right.
the children's hospital. Nothing like Chuck E. Cheese standing behind you.
Yeah, that whole deal. Yeah. So
but now it's like writing for that name is like what I've been doing. So like I'm working on some pretty fun stuff.
Outstanding.
That's going to be a lot of
You,
energy.
you're just working on putting out this first album, and you're already working on the next one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, life is. Well, okay, so this took about 2 years because we would just do it in like off times on the weekends, and then we took a break from like production ended in January of 21, and we really didn't get around to like the mixing part until later on. So we took almost a year break, in between like recording it and then mixing it and getting it ready for release and everything. So like meanwhile, life has happened.
Yep.
And so like I've got some material cooking up, and there's always stuff brewing. I don't know. It's like my therapy. Not that, I need to like therapize a lot in my life, I guess, but you know what I mean.
Oh no, music is extremely therapeutic. Definitely.
Yeah. It's good.
So just remind us again, what dates do you have coming out? What's the name of your album, and where can we find you at?
So, okay, you can find me at Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that. I barely use the Instagram, so Facebook's better. But David Starling, you can just find me there. That's going to be like the most easy to follow as far as like events that are coming up.
DavidStarling.com.
DavidStarlingMusic.com. Yep. As well, and that you will be able to like hear more about the album and see more as it's about to come out.
Link in the description.
Link
if you guys are too lazy to spell it out.
But so we got October 21st is going to be the show at the studio that's off of Capitol Circle, like over there by Tom Brown Park. There's an event page active, so definitely check that out. And then November 12th is going to be the release show. The album comes out the day before that, November 11th, and it is called Mondegreen. And it is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it to be out and for everybody to listen to it. But we do have some singles out already, so you can find me on Spotify or iTunes or YouTube or 1.5 million of those things.
Right, all the places.
All the places, all the things, all that good stuff. But yeah, we got like four out right now. We have Xanadu, Gas Gauge. We have Hurricane, Wildfire. Julie's about to come out on the 17th of this month. Like the full, thing. And then we got the surprise Big Mouth thing happening November 5th. So it'll be good.
Good deal.
That's what's up. Yeah.
All right.
You got any last shout outs, or you want to pick up that guitar and take us out of here, and we'll just use you as the outro?
Oh, Lord.
You got one more in you? A little sneak peek?
You know what? You mentioned Gas Gauge earlier.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Now, I apologize. I'm going to have to back off the mic because this one.
Get loud, baby.
I definitely am.
Going down to the third fret. Oh, shit.
Oh, I see you, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine's awesome. She did amazing work on the album. Oh, thanks, Dad. Well, your dad,
Yes,
but
yes.
just saying Dad.
Thank you. Robert says a little bit of Eagles and James Taylor, and dude, you have a great sound.
Thank you.
Yes. True story.
Cool. All right, so this is a song about the Tallahassee music scene. It's called Gas Gauge. You can hear the full recording on whatever streaming platform you want to. David Starling, Gas Gauge, that kind of thing. All right.
Well, the gas gauge reads empty, but the moon's looking full. There's nothing to block out its light. She shines up above us like a Bethlehem star. And we're both wise men tonight. Should have known this would happen again. Cut from cloth of a dress soaked in gin. You and I were made to play the same part. Two wild-eyed strangers, crooked hearts. With the package stores empty, not a Baptist inside. There's no one to count all our sins. The book is wide open. Just found a page with a good pub begins. Should have known this would happen again. Cut from cloth of a dress soaked in gin. You and I were made to play the same part. Some wild-eyed strangers, crooked hearts. Well, the pockets are empty. The devil may care. Slip buying nothing but time. There's a room up on Gate Street. My heroes hang out. And their stories don't cost a dime. Should have known this would happen again. Not from cloth over, dress soaked in gin. You and I were made to play the same part. Wild-eyed strangers, crooked well, the last bottle's empty. The room's looking tired. Someone should put her to bed. We'll be sewing up the seams in our second-hand lives. Hope we don't run out of thread.
Yes.
Thank you.
David Starling.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
You guys are awesome. Thank
Fuck
you so
yes.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Dude, you're welcome out anytime. Let's do this again soon.
Hell yeah. I'm down for that.
All right, talk to you in a bit.
Sounds good.